This week, we're looking at what happens if the UK leaves the EU. First up, does the referendum actually mean we have to leave? Well, the simple answer is no. Referendums in the UK aren't legally binding. They're more like the government holding an opinion poll. And in the case of the EU referendum, MPs could simply vote no when asked to repeal the 1972 European Communities Act. That said, most politicians aren't keen to go against the result of such a directly democratic process. Next, how does a country leave the EU? It's actually something that's never happened before, but there are procedures in place. First, we'd have to trigger Article 50, which is a legal process giving the UK 2 years to negotiate an exit plan with the EU. Then, the European Commission puts together a proposal for how the UK and the EU can work together in the future. Then, if the UK and 20 of the 27 member states agree, the final step is approval from the European Parliament. So, what will happen if we do leave the EU? It's a difficult question to answer, but there are some things we do know. Firstly, the Leave campaign has now admitted that there won't be £350 million a week for the NHS, nor are we likely to be able to reduce immigration, as if we want to trade in the European Economic Area, we have to accept free movement, something Switzerland is currently learning the hard way. As for what will happen to EU nationals currently living in the UK, and vice versa, the government hasn't been able to offer any assurances about whether they'll stay. Short-term travel in the EU has also been affected. Currently, you'll pay more for holidays because of the poor exchange rates on foreign currency, and in the future, we're likely to have to pay more for flights. Onto the economy, where the effect has mostly been negative. In particular, the pound is now significantly weaker against almost all currencies, which means anything we buy that isn't made in the UK will soon cost more. It does, however, mean that our exports seem better value to other countries. You also may have heard that the financial market, the FTSE 100, is now higher than before the referendum, but that's actually only due to foreign profits seeming higher when converted to the weak pound. The FTSE 250, which is made up from companies trading in the UK, is actually down by 10%, and many economists are now predicting we face another recession. Leaving the EU could also see changes to workers' rights, as the EU Working Time Directive currently ensures limited hours, a safe working environment, regular breaks and annual leave. Finally, can we rejoin the EU if we leave? Well, the answer is yes, provided every other EU country agrees to our application. However, we would lose the financial discount we have now, as well as the opt-outs we've negotiated on some of the EU's rules. We'd also be asked to join the euro, just like any other member. That's all we have time for this week, but if you've got a question, you can tweet us at 3Minute Politics or email hello@3minutepolitics.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.